Hello, everyone, and welcome to Theology on Tap. You know, there are a lot of conversation in the world, well, in the country right now, about male and females and the gender differences and things like that. And most of the conversation is very negative, right? A lot of people really seem to be really upset or pissed off about men. You know, I remember watching just last week a congresswoman saying, you know, you all men just need to shut up, you know, things like that. Maybe we do, who knows? But you know, that's the conversation these days. And I found it really, well, somewhat funny. But, you know, when I look at all these different conversations, like with the Me Too movement and the pay gap between male and female, the abortions and things, I mean, those are all important things to talk about. I think, I'm not saying those are all wrong and stuff, but I find it interesting that there's one of the topics that we're not really talking about is an answer to a question that is written in Book of Proverbs in the Bible, and this is what the verse says. Book of Proverbs 31, starting on verse 10, it says, "A wife of a noble character who can find." Right? What does it mean to be a wife of a noble character? It says, "A virtuous woman who could find, a worthy woman who can find, excellent woman, capable, intelligent, and virtuous," right? Who can find a noble character? Who can find a competent wife? How does one find her? It's a question. You know, I mean, since it's a question, I think it is something that we do need to talk about. I think, what does it mean to be a truly good wife? Because what this verse says is a truly good wife is the most precious treasure a man could find. And I'm in agreement with that. And the reason why it's written in the Bible too is because she brings him good, not evil, for the rest of her life. She brings him good, not evil. And I think it's a conversation that needs to be discussed. I don't know if a lot of women get together and talk about what it means to be a virtuous woman, a virtuous wife, a wife of a noble character, being excellent and diligent, a good woman. Is there a conversation when women get together about that? I know some churches do have it because, you know, I think there are some Bible materials that a women's group go over with a verse like this, and I think that is excellent. It's wonderful, because I know guys talk about it. Guys talk about, not about the woman, that is, guys talk about what does it mean to be a man. I know I talk to my kids about it, you know. So the question is, do women talk about what it means to be a good woman? Personally, I don't know, outside of a Bible study settings. And then the rest of the Proverbs 31 goes into details about what she does to bring him good, not evil. Right? I mean, some of it is not really applicable because times have changed. Not change in the sense men and women are different, but jobs and stuff like that are different. But I gotta tell you, I don't know if you know of a woman of a noble character or not, but you know, I do. I'm married to a woman who is you could say a wife of a noble character. And there are so many examples that I could give, just like in this chapter, about what she does. And maybe I should write a book about it, but only if I knew how to write. Right? But I'll just give you one example, right? And the reason why I'm doing this is not just to brag about my wife, because I want to let you know about her YouTube channel. She started a little less than a year ago, and it's just starting to get popular, I think. And she talks about her life, and she gives advice, not advices, but kind of she shares in a way that what works and what didn't work, what doesn't work. And she's sweet as can be. So I want to leave the link to her channel. Her name is Lisa Cho, C-H-O-H. It's on YouTube channel, Lisa Cho, and go check it out. All right, I think it's very important. But let me just give you an example of it. When we were first married, not long afterwards, few years afterwards, I was having this moment with God, let's say, right? Nothing like he was talking to me or anything, but I just realized something about myself, about my character that I thought, you know, God was telling me it was flawed a little bit. So I got really excited because, hey, I like change. I like to change. I want to be a better person. So I got excited. And when my wife came home, I talked to her about it, and she started crying. Now, it's good news. I wanted to change to be a better person. Why was she crying? So I asked her, babe, why are you crying? And this is what she said, all right? She said, well, that is something that I noticed about you about a year ago, right? It seems like God told her a year before God told me, let's say, right? She noticed about me about a year ago. So I said to her, well, if you knew about this a year ago, why didn't you tell me? And this is what she said. She said, because if I would have pointed out to you that it would have taken another 5 years for you to change. This is something that you need to figure out yourself. It was between you and God. And she was and she was so happy that she used to pray that I would change. And she was crying because that day when I told her about my realization about my flaws in my character, she said, God answered my prayers today. Right? I mean, she could have nagged at me. She could have picked a fight. She could have been every time I did something, you know, that she knew I needed to change, she could have frowned, right? But she didn't do any of that. She just prayed. Now that's a good woman right there, right? And you could see, and her life was not a simple life either. If you go to her channel and look at all the videos she has made, she was sexually molested when she was 9 years old, drugged and sexually molested when she was a teenager. She has gone through a lot in her life, but nothing comes to her, gets to her in a way of a bitter person, because she has God in her life, and she kind of talks about it in her channel. So go ahead and check it out, all right? And what do you call it? If you're women, it would be kind of cool if you get together with your friends and kind of have a conversation about, hey, what do you think it means to be an excellent wife, or a wife of a noble character? You know, I think that's kind of cool, right? I always said that a woman, for a man, being married completes him, and raising kids is the biggest purpose in man's life. And so family could change the world. I think we should, both genders, of course, everyone should do our best in the way of following God to raise good family. I think that should be the priority of all things, because it is valued far above all things in this world. All right. Anyways, God bless you, and I will see you next time.